seem to care at the UFC fight. Here he is. He's joined TikTok now. Yes, President Trump in a day got 1.1 million followers. Now he has 3.5 million followers. His first post I read had like 23 million views. So how about that? Meantime, Biden's account, I think, lagging behind several 100,000. Trump Biden again scheduled to debate. We want to remind you on the 27th, you'll see both of the candidates there on the stage. Yes, we know the Biden campaign may try to call him a convicted felon, but that will be obviously a very big night for folks to really get to see and decide. Sentencing July 11th, July 15th, if you didn't know, is also the RNC convention in Milwaukee, where Trump most likely, there you go, the delegates will make it all official till we know what is happening. All right, let's bring in our next guest, former White House advisor to the Trump administration, host of the Gorka Reality Check right here on Newsmax. Sebastian Gorka, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you.
Great to be back. Thank you.
You know, I think everybody's seeing through this. The donors are coming through, small donors, which we know are so key. A little bit here of the UFC fight, his Mar-a-Lago home last night. We could see just the cheers. These are real Americans. These are real voters. And, you know, they're getting fed up with what we just talked about with Congressman Klein. And I want to get your take on something that went down with George Stephanopoulos, of course, Clinton's former press secretary, trying to cut off Trump's attorney, Will Scharf, here when he was just speaking facts.
I vehemently disagree that the district attorney in New York was not politically motivated here, and I vehemently disagree that President Biden and his political allies aren't up to their necks in this prosecution. I think the fact
there's no evidence of that, sir. Sir, there's no. I'm not going to let you continue to say that. There's just zero evidence of that.
We just had Congressman Klein on talking about we're going to have Merrick Garland in to talk about potential evidence of that, Seb.
Yeah, who are the real fascists? I mean, who's the threat to democracy that we've been hearing the whole time? So you actually make a statement of empirical fact, and then you have to be shut down live on television. Never in the history of any administration, I don't care whether it was American or whether it was Vanuatu, does the third in line at the top of the Department of Justice just fall all the way down the ladder to be a line prosecutor in a local trial in New York in a completely different, much lower jurisdiction. The fact that Colangelo goes from number 3 in America to this penny ante little brag team simply because he's working on behalf of the White House, and everyone knows it. $200 million says everyone knows it. The fact that now President Trump's TikTok has 10 times in 24 hours 10 times the followers of the official Biden TikTok. Come on, everybody knows what's going on.
And, you know, even outside of what's happening in New York, what is happening, you know, with this lawfare, I'd also say when we have, I think we have the live picture still, Dr. Fauci's on the stand. You know, people during COVID, children lost learning, businesses were decimated. The backbone of America, our middle class, mom and pops told to shut down, while those big box stores, everything they did to hurt real hardworking people, closing churches. And here Fauci's going to say, well, you know, this was 6 feet came from somewhere. I mean, this is very damaging, too, as people look at the whole picture of what we know now as we enter in. And as Donald Trump said, November 5th really will be the real verdict, Seb.
Yeah, look, I don't know if these hearings really mean anything. I agree with MTG that little fascist Fauci has to go to jail, but not just because of what he did to the American people with this garbage pseudoscience and affected the mental development for children for decades to come. It's because of the money he funneled to the only Chinese military biolab through front organizations like the Eco Alliance. What is Fauci doing making millions? Why is anybody at NIH or CDC literally making millions of dollars off patents in the pharmaceutical industry when they're supposed to be bureaucrats? In fact, the highest paid bureaucrat in the US government, more than $400,000 was his take-home pay. And then he's funneling our taxpayer money to communist China. That man has to pay for that.
We're watching it closely, as I know you are, too. I know your Truth Social there picked up Trump was talking about some of the astute comments you are always making. Sebastian Gorka, thanks for being with us for a few minutes today. Good to see you.
God bless. Thank you. Check it out. Truth Social. The president reposted a quote from me. You'll enjoy it.
We always do.